Hello, and welcome to VOD of Consciousness with Sientir. I'm Sientir, and last time I was doing some stuff over in Tyria proper. We're in Cantha today. As a reminder, you can check out my Patreon at patreon.com/Sientir to support me. The reason why I am in Cantha, and I'm just going to start going right away, is because I want to capture Forceful Blow, and this is the best spot to do it. There was a boss that I could have gotten it off of in the previous mission. Let's bring my ooze with me. Look at this ooze. Look at it ooze along. Oh, right. I've wandered into a quest. Long and Stone. I don't think I'm going to care too much about this quest. Yeah, like, I'm okay with failing that quest. I'm not here to do that quest. I'm here to, in fact, go over there, maybe? I don't know. I'm going to bring up the map. But I want to go cap Forceful Blow. Yeah, looks like I could potentially go that way. Whatever. I'm going this way because this is the way that I've chosen to go. But the... I want to capture the Hammer Elite skill Forceful Blow, and it's in this area, so I'm here to go do that. So I don't think it'll take too terribly long. I don't know what just updated, nor do I know why it updated. Also, these stairs are stupid. Like, I think I've mentioned this before, but it felt like they made the Echo Vold Forest, and then somebody said, no, it's too small. We need to make it bigger. And so they just took the map and scaled it up. Yeah, they're dying. I don't care. It's not important to me to win that quest. But anyway, it really does genuinely feel like they just took the map and just scaled it up for no friggin' obvious reason. It makes it very strange feeling. So anyway, here we are. This crazy map. Ooh, an amber staff. That's gonna be worth a few gold, probably. Because it's an item. No, not especially because it's an amber staff. Some tanned hide squares. Oh, a giant pile of traps. I have no idea who Tarek Zuheltzer is, nor do I care especially. I just need to get around that way. I don't know. They're a person. They don't talk to me. What now? There's not a quest for, like... Protect Arborstone from the wardens. I have 3 groups remaining. Oh, well, I mean, sure. I guess. Why not? And this seems more reasonable to try to do than some random defense mission. Oh, some Zuheltzer Guardians. That's nice. It looks like there's just a bunch of wardens over here, and they're coming at us. I'm not honestly too worried about this. I would like to know why I'm taking literally 0 damage, but the rest of my party is, like, in pain. Oh, there's a boss. That would probably explain it in part. You. Stop doing things. I'd also like you to stop doing things. I guess I've just walked in on this quest. So here we are now. We are apparently defending this area from wardens. They like to use these nature spirits. I kind of think it would be fun to build an energy denial team. I don't think it would be especially effective for what it's worth, but I think it would be interesting. You stop doing anything. No, not being blind. Yeah, these, like I was saying, these stairs just feel like they've been radically scaled up for some reason. These guys do like to drop their tan hide. I need to switch to a party that's actually more effective. This one's just cute. More than it is powerful. Which is nice, but not really what I need. I think I finished... Okay, cool. I can go talk to wherever Rutger is. Okay, so after accidentally doing that quest, I'm wanting to make my way over this direction. Well, that guy's not going to be around much longer. Turns out we do have pretty good damage if my elementalists aren't getting horribly disrupted. Hey, here's my ooze. I recently went through and like cataloged all of my mini pets and crap, so and everlasting tonics and all that sort of business. Had too many of them, is what I'm saying. Ow, ow. Like Spirit of Brambles does stuff with making things bleed more. Maybe I should make an energy. There's the boss we want to kill, Stonebreaker, right over there. So we just have to get over there, and I don't know why I'm using the we. That's just kind of a way that we kind of have trained ourselves to interact with audiences, isn't it? Kind of an interesting quirk. Here it is. Aha. I will say that I like some of the Paragon's dazing options. They're very good. But yeah, Spirit of Brambles makes things, I think when you get knocked down, you start bleeding. I don't remember. Okay. So, this guy has Forceful Blow. It's probably somewhat dangerous. Yeah. The walls came alive. And a bunch of these guys. Vec, please do not be standing here. I'm much better equipped to stand here. I have a 75% block chance that I'm keeping maintained for the most part. Whatever. Okay, let's get ourselves Forceful Blow. Forceful Blow is a really good hammer elite. Unlike others, it doesn't have knockdown built into it. We don't actually need to defeat any of these. But the reason why I specifically want to do that is there's a couple other hammer elites that I want to pick up that will be kind of on the way, as it were. So I kind of want to get those. Okay, so Rutger Zuhotzer is over here. While I'm auto-walking that way, going to identify some of this stuff. You have my thanks and thanks of both House Zuhotzer and the entire Kurzik Nation. You're welcome. Thank you for the equipment requisition. I will use it at a quartermaster at a future date. Do I need to go through here? Well, whatever. I'm right next to this inlay chest, so why not? So I'm going to need to do something with my build and my party and all of that business. All right. Equipment requisition and stuff and Wolfgar. I don't know. How would this place feel if it was scaled smaller? Not sure. Okay. So we need to go back to the Eye of the North areas, and I want to find myself a Gadd. Little help, we cannot continue on until we've recruited Gadd, so we need to find Gadd. So we need to go through the Shards of Orr. Now, if I remember correctly, that's going to be over in here? No. Yeah, it's going to take us over there, but I believe I need to go through Vlox's Falls area, and I think it's south. Now, this area I remember being particularly obnoxious on account of lots of blind. So I might keep a little bit more of a spellcaster emphasis, though I might change stuff around a little bit. Because I don't know exactly when there's going to be stuff that I want to capture. I'm going to go ahead and just switch back to the signet here. I want to just keep running this bar. I guess I can just keep running it for now. Like, honestly, what I'd want to do is I want to run... I'm going to go ahead and bring that. Spear of Fury is good. Spear Swipe is fine. I'm just thinking through my build here. Realistically, what I would want to do would be go slash Ritualist, so I could use Sight Beyond Sight, which gives you immunity to blind. It's in spawning power, so I couldn't put any attribute points into it, but it still gives me around a 50%-ish uptime, which would be quite beneficial. I don't know. I kind of just want to run some amount of this. I don't know. Some of the stuff is probably somewhat suboptimal, but... Oh, Vex probably doing good damage, and this is probably good defense. Actually, let's switch from Ward Against Harm to Shatterstone. Let's see. Yeah, Shatterstone is probably good. And of course this. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to roll this just because the area is full of blind. But once we get through it, I'm going to want to switch up my party a little bit. So this is going to be another area that requires us to go through a dungeon partially. And like I said, my main memory of the area is that it is full of blind. Actually, on that note, what I should probably do is, instead of Holy Spear, there's a spear attack called Spear of Redemption, which is going to be right here. So this hits for plus 17 damage, which is what this does. But if it fails to hit, you lose a condition. So if you're blinded and you use it, now obviously it requires 3 adrenaline, so it's a little bit of a non-bow from that standpoint, but I have to the limit, which will give me 5 adrenaline. So, and yeah, okay, just down that way. So this path is going to bring us through a lot of crate. So hopefully things go okay with our party from that standpoint. Crate are definitely annoying. I guess Spear of Redemption will get me slightly more DPS as well, just because it charges so much more quickly. So there's that. Whoop, don't need to run off and fight crate. I don't need to fight. I don't know. That well is not mine. I don't think. Yeah, no. She's just got Blood Ritual. And no energy, apparently, huh? Oh, right. I have a ton of energy because I'm in the Star territory. Okay, they use Well of Power, which is fine. So what I think I'm going to want to switch to is I'm probably going to want to switch to more of a Necromancer-based setup. Great, Rising Bile ended. Because Necromancer stuff is armor ignoring. See, this is one of the problems, I guess you could say, that I have with the design of Guild Wars 1. I don't talk about it as often, but there are definitely some design considerations that I have some serious issues with. And one of them is that Elementalist's damage is awkward in PvE. I really would like it if enemies were more clearly weak to specific elements. So that way you could be like, oh yeah, and I can bring this, and it is like really effective or whatever. But a lot of the time it's just like, it's hard to tell if they're weak to a specific thing. I don't know. Kind of my point that I'm probably making somewhat poorly is that I would genuinely quite like it if it didn't feel like armor ignoring damage was always the superior thing. That you could be like, oh, well, I could actually use this armor respecting damage because this thing has less than 60 armor. So I'm actually getting more damage out of it. The way that the armor formula in the game works is if you have 60 armor, you have maximum, or you have flat damage. So basically, like, if I were to look at this right here, it would deal 134 damage to a foe with 60 armor. And then if you have more armor, it deals less damage. If you have less armor, it deals more. Like, that's just kind of how it works. I'm actually going to take a moment to collect myself a thumbnail from right here, actually. I'm going to send the heroes up a little bit, because I just remembered that I want one. So let's go ahead and grab a screenshot there and continue our way. Okay. So, continue on our way by remembering to take off the flag. As I was saying, the fact that a lot of enemies, once you're at max level, have at least 60 armor means that Elementalist damage is always either the value that it says or being mitigated. When we see stuff like those oak hearts, like those oak hearts probably do not care about elemental damage. So Elementalist damage has this weird arc in the game where it starts off really strong because you're getting more than printed value out of it. But as you level up in the game, as enemies get closer and closer to that baseline armor, Elementalist damage kind of goes down. And then once you start getting to the point where Elementalist damage, or enemies have more armor, then Elementalist damage just becomes bad. Or just, it keeps going down and down. And what you find is that stuff like this set plus 17 damage ignores armor. Like, there's a base value that does respect armor, but that's part of why this skill is so strong, because it has 38 plus damage to it that doesn't care about armor. And so you just run into these sorts of situations. It's, I think zombie was there something in here like spams blinding flash or something. But anyway, the long and short of it is, things like Necromancers and Mesmers don't deal as much raw damage as an Elementalist can deal, but the damage that they deal is armor-ignoring damage, which fundamentally means... Wow, I actually got... need to move. But what that means, inherently, is that as armor goes up, their damage becomes proportionately higher. So this kind of goes into sort of some of the philosophies of making enemies more durable. There's basically two ways that you can make an enemy more durable. You can give it more health, or you can make it take less damage. And like, there's you can obviously see that, right? Either you make the health pool last longer. Like, healing also works, and that's another way that you can kind of do it. But that's effectively the same thing as making more health, but in a way that you can theoretically be interacted with. Wow, that's a lot of bones. So kind of what my point is that I'm getting at here is that because Mesmer and Necromancer damage, for example, ignores armor, it's always going to be reliable, and because Elementalist stuff, or like even the Splinter weapon, right? The Splinter weapon is rated at dealing plus 44 damage. 44 damage, that's how much it's doing. So damage like that ignores armor is just becomes very strong as armor levels go up, because that mitigation factor doesn't go away. So it effectively shrinks the enemy health pool so you can kill them more quickly. And that's kind of what I'm talking about here. Is healing is a way of kind of making health pools bigger that can potentially be interacted with if you can do things about healing. Whereas damage, like having a bigger health pool, is a way of potentially... Wow, I've got a lot of junk on me. Yeah, these guys have like virulence or something. But is a way of... we're actually doing really well here, so that's good. Ooh, minor rune. Man, if that's like a minor soul reaping or something, that would be amazing. There's a bunch of these, like, there's some very specific minor runes that are just worth a lot. Yeah, unfortunately, I had weakness stacked on top of me, so its ability to remove blind wasn't as good. But yeah, so basically there's the having more armor is a form of damage mitigation. All these eruptions, that's the problem, is these skeleton wizards just spam eruption. And it's an AoE blind, so there's a couple of other ways of getting around it too, but unfortunately I don't have any of those going on right now. We do want to be careful. Man, if I could just get one hit in, I could use Watch Yourselves. Oh well. Okay, let's move. Nothing to fear. Sorry, this suddenly became very intense. Okay. So, anyway, I wish there was a little bit more work, and they did do some stuff to kind of help in hard mode with giving enemies larger health pools and lower armor. But just increasing armor has specific gameplay ramifications when you have some professions able to ignore armor and other professions having to respect armor. And so it specifically gives a disadvantage to Elementalists compared to Mesmers and Necromancers in particular. So it's the sort of thing that's important to think about when you're designing these sorts of things. I want to move my heroes, because where they were standing was right in the middle of... Man, they keep using these blind inflicting things on me. Now this is what I want to hit. Oh man, not that I can. Okay, it's down. I don't know why I thought that would work. So yeah, anyway, it's just something that, like, when you're designing a game, you have to think about what is the role this profession is playing, how is it going to be able to best play it, and that sort of thing. And, like, there are other roles that Elementalists can play, which is something that I've tried to do with each of these guys. Like, fire is often just, like, raw damage, but it's also a lot of degeneration damage through burning, because burning turns out to be real strong. And then, like, Earth has a lot of damage mitigation stuff. Air has a lot of armor-ignoring damage, so it's actually really good at damage that way and can be good at afflicting certain conditions. And water has a lot of defensive stuff and snares and things like that, which tend to be really strong. So, anyway, there's just, like, different things that each elemental line is kind of good at, but I would prefer not to fight those guys, thanks. Here you can see another Guild Wars 1 Surrogate. So we're just going to go ahead and step through here. I was expecting a cutscene, I admit. So we're going to go ahead and talk to Bartholos and then end the episode there. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed my random conversation about... actually, is it Bartholos we need to talk to? Yeah, it says rendezvous there with Bartholos. Finding Gadd. Ah, Carmen Angelis. Livia passed through earlier and said you're looking for Gadd. They went east and should be at the Bloodstone Caves by now. If you hurry, I'm sure you'll catch up. You'll find Gadd to be extremely demanding as an employer. Ready for some exercise? Okay, and with that, I'm going to go ahead and call this episode to a close. So, until next time, everyone, take care, and goodbye.